Today we're going to look at the most dangerous 3/3 creatures in all of Magic the Gathering. I'm going to start off with Ranger Captain of Eos, a pretty underrated dangerous creature. For 3 mana, we have a 3/3 human soldier, and when he enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost 1 or less. Reveal it, and then you put it into your hand and shuffle your library. So for at least 3 mana, you're going to replace itself, right? That's value you can't say no to. Oh, go get a mana dork, the worst case scenario if you really need to. But that's not all, because you can sacrifice the Ranger Captain of Eos. Your opponents can't cast non-creature spells this turn. So, if you're particularly afraid of your opponent playing Obliterate, Wrath of God, some board wipe, Farewell, all you have to do is sack the Ranger Captain of Eos on their turn, prevent them from playing those cards, and you're going to be free to attack them the following turn. Or combo off, whatever the hell you want to do. It's good at finding combo cards too, by the way. It does it all. Top CDH card? Or are you talking about this one? The Wise Mothman. Didn't this just come out? It's the Mothman. The 4 mana 3/3 insect mutant flying. When the Wise Mothman enters the battlefield or attacks, each player gets a rad counter. And whenever one or more non-land cards are milled, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to X target creatures, where X is the number of non-land cards milled this way. I guess this is something I don't have to play against. I mean, I guess I've seen some of the Commander games. It's done quite well. You know, get your what's it called? Not Farewell. Sorry, Fallout Masters. Get your Fallout Master Commander deck, pre-constructed decks. The Wise Mothman. Dude, look, we have I love the Wise Mothman, says Summer Mermaid Star. We have 2 people for the Mothman. Okay, Toads with Goblin Chain Whirler. Whirling it up. This card was an absolute nasty bomb. For the longest time in Standard, still terrorizes some people in Pioneer. Red, 3/3 Goblin Warrior with first strike. The deal is, though, when it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control. No 1 toughness creatures allowed here. Got 1 toughness creatures? Well, they're annihilated. Say goodbye to all of them. It's usually a one-sided board wipe against the right opponent. You know, the token decks, elves decks don't like this card. Merfolk, a lot of humans decks hate this card. Got 1 toughness creatures? Well, they all get blown up by a Goblin Chain Whirler. And it's one-sided! It's not like their goblins get hit. It's all your creatures get hit. Their goblins are 1 toughness. No, the Chain Whirler whirls in one direction. Next up, let's take a look at Elixir's Azuri, Claw of Progress. It's Mr. Claw from Inspector Gadget, a 4 mana Phyrexian Elf Warrior. Whenever a creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, you get an experience counter. That's great. Power 2 or less? Alright, you get experience. At the beginning of a combat on your turn, put X +1/+1 counters on another target creature you control, or X is the number of experience counters you have. The more experience you have, the bigger your creatures can get. Next up, we've got... Oh, Clarinet Guy with the Gilded Drake. What sucks is this is on the reserve list. It's like $250 because of it. It's a 2 mana 3/3 flyer, enters the battlefield. You do a switcheroo with one of your opponent's creatures. If you can't, you must sacrifice the Gilded Drake. You have nothing to trade. Well, you don't get anything at all. The Drake dies. What weird flavor. I have come to trade my Gilded Drake. Oh, you have nothing to trade? Well, I'm sorry, Gilded Drake. I guess you just die. Makes no damn sense to me. Okay, Shappa with Wrath. Capuchin Ship's Mage. This is a 4 mana flash flying creature. You may cast historic spells as though they had flash. Flash them in play. They won't see them coming. Artifacts, legendaries, and sagas are historic. Oh my god! So we can flash in like... What's blue and that's a saga? The only like main saga in this game to me is like Fable the Mirror Breaker. So he's playing all the competitive formats. Bergie, huge combo card, God of Storytelling. The 3 mana God, whenever you cast a spell, add a red. Until end of turn, you don't lose mana. as steps and phases end, and creatures you control can boast twice during each of your turns rather than once. I've honestly not seen the boast part of this card used very much. Usually Bergia is just like a combo card, and the backside's not useless either. You know, you got the Harnfell Horn of Bounty, a 5-mana artifact. Discard a card, exile the top 2 cards of your library, and you can play one of those cards this turn. If you are in that combo-centric type of archetype, you're going to want to churn through your cards. Go dig for your win condition. There's probably not many in there. First super chat of the day, we got Alphaner. Thank you very much. Kutzil. Malamet Exemplar. This is a 3-mana cat warrior. The cat warrior. Where's Majra? You guys see there's cat warriors here. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. That's insane. So it is, and it's got like another ability attached to it. Whenever one or more creatures you control, each with power greater than or than its base power, deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. I think this is a banger card. This is a complete banger. So no one can mess with you on your turn. They can cast abilities, but whatever. It's basically this is that card. There's like a 2/2 with this ability for 2 mana. People can't do anything on your turn. But I love the fact that you deal combat damage to a player, you actually get value. Oh man, I can't say no to cards like this. But it's only 1 or more, so I guess it's like you deal damage once, you get $1. And you attack with everybody, still $1. You don't get any more than $1. $1 at a time. Next up, Stanel. I think a lot of people are trying to get Fury on this list. The classic digging for Fury. I don't know if Commander players know the pain of this card. Oh wow, and it really crashed in price, down to like $5. 5 mana for an elemental incarnation with double strike. When it enters the battlefield, it divides 4 damage as you want against any number of target creatures or planeswalkers. Also, you can evoke this card by exiling a red card from your hand. Sort of acted like in competitive Magic, it acted like a weird force of will for small creatures. And what was painful is force of will, 2 cards for 1 card. That's fair. But Fury sometimes could be 2 cards for 4 cards, dividing out, killing a bunch of things at once. That is danger. So it got banned. Well, it got banned in Modern. Probably is not going to get banned in Legacy or anything else. And probably doesn't see much play or any in Commander. Alright, Emperor with Balin. Thank you very much. Wandering Knight. Okay, I have to be more specific here. Balin is a 3-mana cat knight with first strike. Has double strike as long as 2 or more equipment are attached to it. Oh. 2 or more? I'm never a fan of abilities like that. Oh, equip me with something. I get stronger. And then 2 mana, attach all equipment you control to Balin. Oh my goodness! Okay, for 2 mana, that's a price I'm willing to pay. That's a price I'm willing to pay. Iris with Raka Rumel Biologist. I'm just gonna look up Biologist. I have a feeling there's not too many. Raka Rumel. Wooburg, human wizard, enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. I name Merfolk. I don't know if Merfolk is going to be the best creature type to name with this creature, but let's find out. Slivers you control and non-token creatures you control are the chosen type in addition to their other creature types. That's a bit weird. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. Pay 3, tap, create a 1/1 colorless sliver creature token. I don't get it. Shouldn't we just name... Like, why does slivers need this weird twist to it? Like, aren't the slivers good enough by themselves? Like, clearly you're going to put this in the sliver deck. So all of a sudden we've changed our slivers to something else? That's weird. It's like, why would I want... If I'm a sliver, why would I want to be any other creature type? I'm like one of the best creature types around here. They're one of the bosses. They're like one of the end bosses of Magic the Gathering. Next up, Turiat with Emperor. Mihail. The second. This is a 3-mana Merfolk Noble, and you may look at the top card of your library at any time. So we got Future Sight on a Merfolk. You may cast Merfolk spells from the top of your library. And get this, if you play a Merfolk spell, you can pay in a whole additional 1 mana. If you do, you get a 1/1 blue Merfolk creature token. It's like when you buy something from a store and they give you a free gift at the same time. That's what Emperor Mihailed is. And then we got the real Emperor, Emperor Tromidlov, Magar of the Magic Strings. These are magical strings, playing everybody like puppets. A 3-mana Minotaur Performer. 3 mana, note the name of target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard and put it onto the battlefield face down. It's a 3/3 creature with whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you may create a copy of the card with the noted name. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost, and if this creature would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. Okay, this is a real head scratcher. I know I read a gigantic paragraph, but I really don't even know what it does. I love all these cards. It's like, put this thing into play, and it has, when this thing does this, which also, when it dies, it gets this. I have to note the name of target instant or sorcery in my graveyard and put it onto the battlefield face down. I have to make note of it, so I gotta remember this is a brainstorm. So this brainstorm becomes a 3/3 creature, and it deals damage. Oh, I see. It deals damage. I get a copy of my brainstorm. Can cast the copy, and if this creature would leave the battlefield, we exile it to eternity. Goodbye to the Shadow Realm with you, my brainstorm. Toilet Duck, Asmarano. I'm just kidding. Asmarano, Mardigadasna Kuldakar. It's like riding a bicycle. Once you are able to pronounce this damn thing, you can't forget it. Okay, Asmarano is a 3/3 human wizard. As long as you've discarded a card for the turn, you can pay a singular red or black mana to cast it. Because otherwise, Asmarano has no casting cost. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a card named the Underworld Cookbook. Reveal it and put it in your hand, then shuffle. Sack 2 food, target creature, deals 6 damage to itself. Stop hurting yourself, creatures. Stop hurting yourself. And of course, the Underworld Cookbook is an artifact for 1 mana. Tap it, discard a card, you get a food token. You have 2 foods in play, you start shooting down your opponent. Sorry, you don't shoot down your opponent's creatures. Your creatures shoot down themselves. I hate this card. I have a lot of soft, fleshy creatures that die to this pretty easily. Arcanus, Myojin. Whoops. Myojin. Of Cryptic Dreams. This is a lot of mana. All right, we have an 8-mana spirit. Enters the battlefield with an indestructible counter on it, and if you cast it from your hand. Remove an indestructible counter from Myojin of Cryptic Dreams. Copy target permanent spell you control 3 times. Oh, I just have to sacrifice my indestructibility. And then, hold on, remove an indestructible counter. So, copy target permanent spell? Oh, I see. So it has to be on the stack. What a weird card. So someone's casting something on the stack. I can copy it by removing my counter. It's going to be a beating to whoever wants to play anything cool or fun. Especially an ETB creature. You'll get the ETB before they do. Alright, Alpha Nerd. Lightning Crafter. A danger with Thornbite Staff. Oh, so you're saying it's only good with a combo? The 4-mana Goblin Shaman champion, a Goblin or Shaman. Tap. Lightning Crafter deals 3 damage to target creature or player. What was your deal? You said it's going to be good with Thornbite Staff. Did that let you, like, untap this thing over and over again? I think this card is a little janky, to be honest. It's like it's a 4-mana card. I have to, like, destroy one of my... Well, not destroy. I gotta champion one of my things. As far as I'm concerned, champion means blow it up. And, it's a lightning bolt on a stick. It can become a machine gun. Alright, we'll count it. It has potential. It's a combo card. You technically need 3 cards for this combo. The Enabler, the Lightning Crafter, and something to throw away to champion. Next up. We'll take one from Deft Notable, Spell Tithe. Enforcer. Okay, it's a 5-mana 3/3 Elephant Wizard. Elephants never forget. Whenever an opponent plays a spell, that player sacrifices a permanent unless they pay 1. This reminds me of the Pirates. There were these Rishadan Brigade, is it? Rishadan something. Yeah, okay, so Rishadan Brigand. Whenever a Rishadan Brigand comes into play, each opponent sacks a permanent unless they pay 3. Oh, it's a little bit different. So it's basically a tax on your opponents for eternity. Well, stacks, decks, rejoice, because you're going to have to pay up to the Spell Tithe Enforcer. You pay up that 1, or you pay up with your permanents. His assistants calculate the amount of the tribute. He measures out the punishment for delinquency. Or you could be like the government and say, hey, you got to pay up. These are your taxes. You're moving into this tax bracket. You're not paying enough. At least in this case, the tax bracket is flat. It's 1 mana. No matter how much or how little mana you have. Spell Tithe Enforcer doesn't change based on mana abundance. Next up, Alpha Nerds Yawgmoth, Praetor of Gix. I'm sure this is the one. I'm sure this is it. Or is it Gix, Yawgmoth Praetor? Huh? Well, it is a 3/3. I'm assuming it's this card. I'm a little confused all of a sudden. Okay, it's a 3-mana Phyrexian Praetor. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller may pay 1 life, and if they do, you get to draw a card. Also 7 mana, discard X cards, exile the top X cards of target opponent's library. You may play lands and cast spells from among those cards exiled this way without paying their mana costs. Oh my goodness. So for 7 mana, which honestly not even that hard to get to, you dump your hand and you exile the top cards of target opponent's library, and you can play whatever you want. Oh my goodness. There is a little bit of chance involved. If you brick on this thing, you'll be terrible. Be an absolute beating. Let's get one from Christopher B. Godo. Oh, you people love Godo. Okay, be more specific. Bandit Warlord. Isn't this like a it's just a combo card. The 6-mana 3/3 enters the battlefield. You may search your library for an equipment card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Doesn't it combo with a little something called Helm of the Host? Whenever Godo attacks for the first time each turn, untap it and all samurai you control. After this phase, there is an additional combat phase. Does anyone, hey, open challenge for everyone here and anyone on the replay. Has anyone untapped their samurai? Just question, anyone untap their samurai with this card? Was that, it's like almost useless. It looks like useless text on here. As far as I'm concerned, like everyone is going to be the first time you should untap it, and I think you're generally just untapping your Godo and taking infinite attacks with your Godo, not the samurai. Oh, wait, so the first time each turn. Hold on, doesn't it? How does? Oh yeah, I think Helm of the Host. It makes a copy of the Godo, which means that's the first time it's attacking. At the beginning of combat, create a token that's a copy of equipped creature, except it's a token. It isn't legendary. Oh yeah, so every single time you attack, it's like the first time that new Godo attacks. I always thought it was dumb that Godo is a barbarian and only affects samurai. No, he could have called Godo a samurai themselves and just say untap all samurai, which would include Godo. But yeah, it is what it is. Next up, Bacon Catbug. Watch Wolf. You like your Watch Wolves. The first ever 4 mana, or is it 2 mana value, 3/3 without downside. Are you serious? Honestly, this is not really Titanic worthy, but this definitely does not belong on the show. It's literally a vanilla creature. I guess some people would really like the flavor text. Only in Ravnica do the wolves watch the flock. It's terrible. Think it's a cute doggo? This doggo needs to be domesticated. It's been out all day, all night. Okay, Gavin says, I played back in the original Kamigawa and thought Godo would be good, but the ninjas were always outclassed. Oh, those ninjas. Okay, Kano, send triplets. Or Wizards of Thay. 5-mana human wizard. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose target opponent. This turn, that player can't cast spells or activated abilities and plays with their hand revealed. Oh, how that's so punishing. You may play lands and cast spells from that player's hand this turn. It's almost like a mind slaver. This card does so much. At the beginning of your upkeep, and a one-on-one, what doesn't just paralyze someone for eternity? This turn. Oh, it's just on your turn. Okay, so on my turn, you can't cast spells against me. And I get to see everything you can do. And I can play them too. Your hand is mine. Just like the IRS. What's mine is mine, what yours is also mine. Speaking on behalf of the IRS. Next up, we've got Liam with the Lightning Reaver. Lightning Reaver, a 5-mana zombie beast with fear and haste. Whenever Lightning Reaver deals combat damage to a player, put a charge counter on it. And at the end of your turn, Lightning Reaver deals damage equal to the number of charge counters on it to each opponent. Oh, well, how long is this charade gonna go until they're just gonna kill the Lightning Reaver? Like, this is just gonna kill everybody. One turn at a time, put those counters on, maybe proliferate them. I don't know how you proliferate them in the Rakdos deck, but you'll figure it out somehow. Okay, Emperor, with the 6, the Doctor. The 6th Doctor, a 6-mana Simic Time Lord Doctor. Whenever you cast a historic spell, you copy it, except the copy isn't legendary. This ability triggers only once each turn. I can also attest that copying your spells, hold on, whenever you cast a historic spell, you copy it, except the copy isn't legendary. So you can cast historic Umezawa's Jite, and you have 2 of them on the battlefield. What is, like, the idea behind this? So that you can have, like, multiple legendary creatures on the battlefield at the same time? I guess so. Michael with Rogue Elephant. It'd be Rogue. It is a 1-mana, comes into play, sacrifice a forest or bury your elephant. I will bury it for you. Not dangerous. Oh yeah, you could have 2 Sensei. I don't know what you're gonna... What would you do with 2 Sensei's Divining Tops? Like, you can basically only use 1. I mean, I guess you could sack 1 to draw an extra card from the top, but that's about it. Not particularly impressive. I don't know what you can have millions of Sensei Divining Tops. They don't stack or anything, or not very well, I would say. David Howell with White Plume Adventurer. Oh yes, cards so painful that commander players would never understand. The 3-mana 3/3 Orc Cleric enters the battlefield, you take the initiative. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, untap a creature you control. If you've completed a dungeon, untap all creatures you control instead. This card... It's actually a vintage powered card. And it's banned in Legacy. And frankly, I hate these damn adventurer cards in Legacy in general. Surefire Selves is like, I'm a commander player, and I know. You can only know playing in other formats. This card is like more balanced in Commander because there's like 3 people that can gang up on you. But one-on-one, you can't really see it because you need to have like those, what are they called? Not tombs. The dungeons available. Like, it gets through that dungeon so fast. Before you know it, you're getting hit for like 5 damage a turn every single turn, if not worse. Oh, it's sick. Aurora, Mog Squad. The Mog Squad. Isn't this another sad panda card? It's just 2 mana. What are you people doing? Okay, we'll go to a super chat. Bacon Catbug with Keldon Marauders was a staple during the Burn and Sly. People are like, we're not talking about cards that were dangerous back in the day. We're talking about cards that are dangerous today. This card can't hold a candle. So enters the battlefield or leaves the battlefield, deals 1 damage to target player. I mean, if you want to play a format where you can't play with cards beyond... Well, where's all the prints? This is a real one. This is not that old of a card, actually. They brought this... They made a card that sort of looks like an old card, but by today's like sort of in the power level of today's standards, it's still really not that good. Have you had Nika Bro stream on 4-1? April Fools? No, we have nothing planned for 4-1. Next up, Subtlety. This is a staple everywhere. Not only is it a staple, this is the most misunderstood staple in Magic the Gathering at the moment. I've seen this being misplayed so many times on stream. It's a 4-mana 3/3 with flash and flying. Enters the battlefield, choose up to one target creature spell or planeswalker spell. Its owner puts it on the top or bottom of their library. You can evoke it by exiling a blue card from your hand, so you can play it for free. People are still trying to, like, use this to bounce creatures that are in play. I guess the problem is there's a lot of Magic players that think a spell, like, everything is a spell, and it's still a spell while it's in play, which makes it really confusing. But a spell is only a card that's on the stack. But needless to say, this is still a very good card. It's sort of force of will for creatures and planeswalkers. They could get it back by putting it on top of their library, but you're depriving them of a card for the turn. We'll go with Blackbird's Insatiable Hemophage. 4-mana 3/3. Mutate with Death Touch. Whenever this creature mutates, each opponent loses X life. Ooh, and you gain X life, where X is the number of times the creature has mutated. And you keep mutating that creature, you keep gaining more life. Keep sucking their blood. Oh my god, we have so many super chats on the... okay, gotta get through some super chats. So we did the Keldon Marauders. It does not danger. Alpha Nerd, redeem us. Redeem the whole room. Liss Alana Huntmaster. Can get out of hand quick. Okay, it's a 4-mana Elf Warrior, and yes, if you cast an Elf spell, you may create a 1/1 green Elf Warrior creature token. This plus Heritage Druid, plus, say, Glimpse of Nature, can go bonkers. Because every single time you cast a creature, you get a 1/1 green Elf Warrior, which might even combo with some other creatures that are already in play to create some elves for you. And then as soon as you have 3 elves, you can tap them with Heritage Druid to get 3 more mana to keep the chain going. And if you're drawing cards every single turn through something like Glimpse of Nature or something else, you can basically chain through your entire deck. Might even be able to combo off that turn with Critterhoof Behemoth, who knows. Okay, next up, Pendamon with Glissa. Sunslayer. There is a Sunseeker and a Sunslayer, the 3-mana Phyrexian Zombie Elf. First strike, Death Touch, and whenever the Sunslayer deals combat damage to a player, you may choose one. You draw a card, and you lose 1 life, which is fair within the black color pie. You may destroy an enchantment or remove up to 3 counters from target permanent. I like the first 2. These are great. A great card to blink. This last one, is that good? Move up to 3 counters from target permanent. Oh, I get it. It can kill planeswalkers. You have a planeswalker in play. Boop! Are there any, like, playable planeswalkers in Commander? Like, this planeswalker is so strong, everyone should play it. I mean, I guess there's some made for Commander planeswalkers as your commander. That makes it worth it. Are there non-commander commander planeswalkers that are worth it? That's the real question. Oh, no! Okay, we have our today's sponsors, FusionGamingOnline.com. I gotta go attend to... You enjoy looking at everything Fusion has to offer. I gotta get to Amazon package. Hello? I'll be right down. Well, that's gonna kill my retention on the replay. All right, what do we got here? The Spring Break Sale, 72-hour singles. Sorry, 72-hour sale, 20% off all singles. But if you're so you want to take advantage of that sale, it's everything on the website is all fair game. However, if you cannot make that sale, it's okay because all the time outside of the sale, you can use coupon code Nikachu for 5% off all your purchases. We're also gonna thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. I love playing on Magic Online. I play Modern, Legacy all the time, and if I want to play with a new deck with new cards, adjusting it at the moment's notice because the metagame changes, or there's cards that get banned, I rent new ones using Mana Traders. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_ZUE. So I need to catch my breath around here. Okay, back to dangerous 3/3 creatures. Aurora says, I'm gonna make a video where Nikachu leaves for 12 well, the stream just loops the music to an empty chair. Go for it, I love it. I'll retweet it and everything. What are they doing to all the single people? They're taking 20% 20% off all singles. Get them while you can. Okay, let's go to another super chat. We got Blake Mamba with Have We Done Krenko Mob Boss? We will in a minute. Krenko Mob Boss, the 4-mana Goblin Warrior. With tap, create X 1/1 red Goblin creature tokens, where X is the number of goblins you control. The more goblins you have in play, the worse Krenko gets. You can untap him multiple times a turn, it's even better. Give him haste through those other goblins, and he it danger. He displays a perverse charisma fueled by avarice. Highly dangerous. Recommend civil sanctions. You're gonna sanction Krenko? That is so weird. Murktide region by Abzo. That is actually hilarious. Because this card is almost never a 3/3. It's a 7-mana delve flying creature. But like, I'm not gonna say I've never seen this as a 3/3, but it's rarely a 3/3 because when it enters the battlefield, it's gonna get +1/+1 for each instant and sorcery that you exiled with it from the graveyard to delve it. And also, it's very hard for it to stay a 3/3 because whenever you play an instant or whenever an instant or sorcery card leaves your graveyard, it's gonna get +1/+1 permanently, not even until end of turn. Okay, next up. Let's look at Your Friendly Neighborhood Idiots Tovolar. Which one? Dire Overlord. This is a 3-mana human werewolf. Whenever a wolf or werewolf you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. I'm in love with it already. Huge fan. 2 thumbs up. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more wolf or werewolves, it becomes night. Oh, is that right? So when enough wolves become a pact, or become a pack, all of a sudden it's nighttime? Or I guess they woke up. That's the flavor. Then you transform this thing into Tovolar, the Nightmare Scourge. Whenever a wolf or werewolf you control deals combat damage to a player, again, you get to draw the card, but you also have this, what is it called? The Keswick Wolf Run ability. The red-green X. Target wolf or werewolf gets +X/+0 and gains trample until end of turn. Nightbound. Okay, next up. That was not a super chat. Because this is a super chat. Bactar with oh my god, Tatiova. I'm thinking of making a merfolk deck around this creature just because I think the ability is just that strong. And I know this is not supposed to be a merfolk card, but like the I can't get past the value you get off of this thing. It's 5 mana for a creature which has landfall. You draw a card every single time you play a land, and you gain a life at the same time. How do you go wrong? How do you go wrong? But apparently this is not even played as a merfolk card. This is played as some just sort of weird I don't know, a combo deck of some sort. There's like weird Tatiova value decks, but they have nothing to do with Merfolk at all. But I would, if I were to go Simic, I would forget all the other Simic cards. I would just play Tatiova, honestly. I would, just because, like, I think drawing cards is great. I love me drawing some cards every single turn. And one thing about Merfolk is you sometimes run out of cards. And this creature will make sure I never run out of cards. Yeah, we did Asmarano. You don't think this is a kindred card, neighborhood idiot? I think so. I would die for something like this in Modern. That's like 3 mana. It'd be broken. Okay, next up, let's take a look at... okay, who has not got a card? I don't think Verginka got a card yet. Blind Creeper. You know, when you say Creeper, I thought you were talking about Minecraft. The 2-mana Zombie Beast, whenever a player plays a spell... I didn't have to even read the second half to know that I was getting had here. Next up, we could give to Arcanus. Guild Leaf Archdruid. This is a 5-mana elf. Whenever you play a druid spell, you draw a card. And with tap 7 untapped druids you control, gain control of all lands target player controls. Yeah, I'm sure all your opponents are going to be super thrilled to see the Gilt Leaf Archdruid on the battlefield. They're going to count up how many druids do you have? Do you have 6? You're up to 6 now? All right, fellas. We got to do something about this Gilt Leaf Archdruid, or else we're going to start losing all our lands. Okay, Emperor. What do you got for us? Well, since you mentioned Jite, we might as well mention Tetsuo Umazawa. You know, this was a 3/3. Oh. Can't be the target of aura spells. Then we have 4 mana tap. Destroy target tapped or blocking creature. This is like really underwhelming card. This is a very underwhelming super chat, that's for sure. Next up, David Sampson with Orvar. One of the best clones in the game. Neat discard attack and 60 card CED and also CEDH viable. Absolutely. It's a 4-mana shapeshifter. Another funny thing is that it's got this 3/3 creature here. In reality, it's not usually a 3/3 creature. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, if it targets one or more other permanents you control, create a token that's a copy of one of those permanents. Whenever a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard this card, create a token that's a copy of target permanent. Oh yeah, like, it's never a 3/3 because it's gone. So if it ends up getting discarded from your hand through, like, you know, a wheel effect, for example, you could make a copy of anything that's on the battlefield. Cool card. Next super chat, Magus of the Wheel, and a donation to chat. Allow me to show you my wheel. A 3-mana human wizard, pay 2 mana, tap, sacrifice Magus of the Wheel. Each player discards their hand, then draw 7 cards. Effectively, you know, this is Wheel of Fortune at home. Wheel of Fortune. There should be like, what was it? Pat Sajak? Who's the host of Wheel of Fortune? Hold on. Wheel of Fortune host. Yeah, it's Pat Sajak. Pat Sajak and Vanna White. Someone should alter this into Pat Sajak, put Vanna White in the background. And then you have like some sort of puzzle that you have to solve in the background. Wheel of Fortune is Drew Carey. No, that's The Price is Right. I know my morning game shows. Okay, next up, we'll take a look at Ecos's Boromir. Compliments of Steve Cooper. You want Warden of the Tower. It's really good. It prevents free casting and protects your board. The 3-mana human soldier with vigilance. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. And sacrifice Boromir, Warden of the Tower. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. And the ring tempts you! Although the ring tempting you is not a bad thing in this game. It's usually a good thing. It should be a bad thing. It should deal damage to you. Wheel of Fortune isn't daytime television. It isn't? Okay, well, I guess I don't know much. You know, well, whatever. I could have swore it was. Chris Kiger, have you done Giora Weatherlight Captain? We have now. Giora, a wonderful 4-mana human artificer, and whenever you cast a historic spell, you also draw a card. That's actually broken. So, I mean, with there's a lot of artifacts that will just trigger off of this thing. It's not even a particularly expensive legendary creature. Oh yeah, okay, Soul Ring, Mana Crypt. Honestly, probably those cards are already in play, but then you have like Sensei's Divining Top, dig through the top cards of our library, draw the card, play an artifact, draw Sensei's Divining Top again, play Sensei's Divining Top, draw a card. Yeah, that is a card drawing machine. Giora Egg was CEDH. I don't doubt it. Yeah, this it danger big time. Next super chat from Blake Mamba, the Faldorn. Whatever the hell that is. Dread Wolf Herald. People are getting your wolves. Some people are a huge fan of wolves, and I didn't know that wolves started at a base power and toughness of 3/3. Human Druid, whenever you cast a spell from exile or a land that enters the battlefield under your control from exile, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token. Pay 1, tap, discard a card, exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. This is honestly a pretty underwhelming card. You have to cast a spell from exile, or a land has to come into play from exile. That's not particularly easy. Like, it's possible, I guess, from red. It's awkward, though. Larry Law with Glissa, the Traitor. There's a lot of Glissas. We need the Traitor. Glissa, you're a traitor. Green, green, black. First strike, death touch. Whenever a creature an opponent controls is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. Rough 1/1, Leovold. Emissary of Trest. 3 mana, 3/3. It's banned. Wow, it's banned in Commander. I didn't even know. That's insane. Like, it's a very good card in Legacy, but like, I didn't know it's Commander ban worthy. Okay, 3 mana for an Elf Advisor. Each opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn. Oh, so you like Windfall people, and it probably sucks. Or Time Twister or something. Whenever you, or a permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, you can repeatedly wheel and everyone gets nothing. You got nothing! Good day, sir. Good, I said good day. Alpha Nerd. Adaptive Gem Guard? Gets dangerous quickly. Okay, Adaptive Gem Guard, the 4-mana gnome. Tap 2 untapped artifacts and or creatures you control. Put a +1/+1 counter on Adaptive Gem Guard. Activate only as a sorcery. I don't know how this gets okay, tap 2 untapped artifacts and or creatures you control. Put a +1/+1 counter on this thing. Is there like a combo where like if it gets the counter, you can untap all your creatures? Because that's the only way this is gonna really danger. Otherwise, it just doesn't really even do anything. It's a very disposable box. Means you can't play the game with the Leovold. Yeah, that's right. Okay, next up, let's take a look at who has a card. Liam with Merstrom Predator. This is a 4-mana 4-mana Vampire Dragon. That is a weird creature combination. You got your vampires, you also have your dragons. So what if it takes a bite out of me, I'm not even gonna become a vampire. I'm just gonna become lunch. When Immersturm Predator becomes tapped, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard and put a +1/+1 counter on your Predator. Sacrifice another creature. Predator gains indestructible until end of turn. Oh, and you get to tap it. That's actually pretty damn good. Welcome back, Toads. Yeah, Rakdos vampires coming back, baby. It coming back. Well, since two of my super chats were sniped, Mo Woo Loyal Companion. Hold on, let's find one. Oh, you did. I see the Orvar one. All right, let's give you that super chat. And you want Mo Woo. Mo Woo! Oh, it's cute. Oh, it's Tails. It's like instead of Tails the fox, it's Tails the dog. Surprised Sega's not gonna sue Wizards over this. The 4-mana dog, Vigilance Trample. If one or more +1/+1 counters would be put on Mo Woo, that many +1. That many +1/+1/+1 counters are put on it instead. Bit of a tongue twister, but it is in fact a counters multiplying god. It is a good boy. Next up, let's take a look at... We did Gilded Drake. Spectral Maniac coming in a little late here. Coming a little late. Oh, Sleep Rage. I don't think we did that one. This one? Minion. When Sleeper Agent comes into play, target opponent gains control of it. At the beginning of your upkeep, Sleeper Agent deals 2 damage to you. Okay, it's sort of neat. Here, take this this creature that will infinitely shock you to death. Although it's quite strange. Blake Mamba with Sunfrill Intimidator. Sorry, Sunfrill Imitator. You know what they say? Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. 3-mana dinosaur. Whenever it attacks, you may have it become a copy of another target dinosaur you control. So you're copying your own kind around here. Except its name is Sunfrill Imitator, and it has this ability. You know what? It's a very neat card, but this is awkward. You need something big in play already for this card to be good. It's like it's a really weird clone effect. What's everyone go-to colors in MTG? Blue! Mine is blue. Who hasn't got a card yet? I think almost everyone's got a card at this point. Okay, Christopher B with Karplusan Minotaur. Why do I think this card's gonna suck? Karplusan Minotaur. 4 mana. Cumulative upkeep, you have to flip a coin. Whenever you win a coin flip, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player. But if you lose a flip, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player of an opponent's choice. Oh god, no. That was not the right sound effect for this situation. Not particularly dangerous. Okay, next up, Emperor. Oh, this one. Hold on, this one's. Okay, this one got sniped, right? Sorry, everyone who sniped the Boromir Warden of the Tower. So we'll donate it to Proto-Pawn with Rowan. Rowan's Battle Guard. This is a 4-mana human knight with first strike. As long as you control a Rowan Planeswalker, he gets +3/+0 until end of turn. Damn, these 3 zeros are getting, like, terrible.
No! God, please, no!
How is this? It's literally... I guess it's a 4-mana 6-power creature with first strike, I guess. Conditionally, if you have Rowan in play. Okay, Abza with braids. We need some powerful cards here. The Arisen Nightmare. Oh, they brought braids back. It's a 3-mana Nightmare. At the beginning of your end step, you may sack an artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker. If you do, each opponent may sacrifice a permanent that shares a type with it. What do you mean may? For each opponent who doesn't, that player loses 2 life and you draw a card. Oh, that's cool. Okay, that I like. I sack something, you must also sack. If you don't, give me card. Give me card around here. What do we have? Liam Minsk. Is there literally... Oh, there is a Minsk. There's literally Minsk Beloved Ranger. A 3-mana human ranger. Enters the battlefield. Create a Boo. A legendary 1/1 red hamster creature token with trample and haste. Hold on, what came first? This creature or the planeswalker? It's basically the same thing. Pay X. Until end of turn, target creature you control has base power and toughness XX and becomes a giant in addition to its other types. Activate only as a sorcery. Interesting. Alright, Kagan. What do you got for us? Hidetsugo consumes all. Becomes a 3/3. Okay. Hidetsugu. It's not a 3/3 at first, to be honest. But you super chatted, and you know what? You talk the talk. I'll let you walk the walk a little bit. Okay, destroy each non-land permanent with mana value 1 or less as chapter 1. Chapter 2, exile all graveyards. Chapter 3, exile this creature, transformed. It becomes a 3/3 creature with trample. And whenever it's called Vessel of the All-Consuming. Whenever it deals damage, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and whenever Vessel of the All-Consuming deals damage to a player. If it dealt 10 or more damage to that player this turn, they lose the game. Holy crap! I'm not counting Treetop Village. Not creature. Not technically creature. If you super chat, I'll count it though. I'll count it if you super chat. Okay, hold on. Spectral Maniac has thrown a lot of cards that have been done before, but we didn't do this one. Egar, the Freezing Flame. What a very bearded fellow. 3 mana for a giant wizard. Whenever a creature or planeswalker an opponent controls is dealt excess damage, if a giant wizard or spell you control dealt damage to it this turn, you get to draw a card. Anything that draws a card, I have a soft spot for. Never gonna say no to drawing cards. Okay, Emperor back again with Centaur of Attention. It gets really dumb with multiple extra ETB triggers like Panharmonicon. Okay, we have a 5 mana Centaur Performer. Enters the battlefield, roll 5 6-sided dice, and store those results on it. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may re-roll any number of Centaur of Attention's stored results. Centaur of Attention gets +X/+X, where X is the greatest number of stored results on it of the same value. Did we do? I thought we did Tolsimir already. Tolsimir, Friend to Wolves. Oh, maybe we didn't, from Surefire ourselves. Okay, it's a 5 mana Elf Scout. Enters the battlefield, create Voya, Friend to Elves, a legendary 3/3 green and white wolf creature token. I can't help but think Majra is highly inspired by cards like this. Enter the battlefield, get something. Whenever a wolf enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 3 life, and that creature, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Oh my god. They were born to fight. Okay, next up, let's take a look at Kagan's. How do we feel about Emissary Green? Emissary Green is a 5 mana human advisor. What the hell is this thing from? Ravnica Clue Edition? Is this legal? Do I have to buy this from, like, a clue set or something? So you don't buy this in packs. You have to buy this from a board game. Are we at that point yet? Okay, so whenever Emissary Green attacks, starting with you, each player votes for profit or security. You create a number of treasure tokens equal to twice the number of profit votes. Put a number of +1/+1 counters on each creature you control equal to the number of security votes. It's the Ravnica Clue Edition. Were those boosters? It just made me realize Wizards could completely pump up the value of, like, Monopoly and all their other board games by putting exclusive cards in them that we have to buy. Like, imagine they printed, I don't know, a new Leovold in Monopoly for one reason or another, or in Risk. In Risk or Clue, and you had to buy the board game in order to get the cards. It's like it's like, you know, almost like buying a secret lair, except you're buying a whole board game this time. I hope I'm not giving Wizards any ideas here. It was like Clue, but you play Magic the Gathering. Alright, thanks for letting me know. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, like, that'd be a really roundabout way for pumping the value of all their other intellectual properties without when really it's just part of the Magic segment. People are just throwing away the board game, taking the cards because they need it. Buy Risk and get I don't know, General Godo or something like that. We did the Predator already. Yeah, the Vampire Dragon. Yeah, funny you bring up Monopoly. Oh, there's something in the news about Monopoly lately? Toads with Brawn. This is a 4-mana trampling incarnation. As long as Brawn is in your graveyard and you control a forest, creatures you control have trample. It's not that bad. Not the most exciting card in the world, but it's not that bad. Okay, Emperor. Mahari. Emporium. Do you own every single card that says Emperor or Emporium? I know Emporium is not the same as an Emperor. It's like a place. Anything that starts with EMP. Hold on. Is it Mahadi? I'm gonna just look up Emporium Master. Oh, it's Mahadi, not Mahadi. Oh, it was just a typo. Your finger slipped on the keyboard. The 3-mana Cat Devil. At the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each creature that died this turn. Sweet stuff. David Sampson with World Shaper. This is a 4-mana Merfolk Shaman. Whenever it attacks, you may mill 3 cards. When it dies, return all the land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. This has potential. You sort of have to build around it. Particularly, you need to have some sort of sacrifice synergy, but I see where you're getting here. Dinglebay, Captain of the Watch. Six mana Vigilance. Other soldiers you control have +1/+1 and have Vigilance. Whenever Captain of the Watch enters the battlefield, put 3 1/1 white soldier creature tokens onto the battlefield. You do get a lot. You get a lot of value off of this card, and if you can repeatedly blink it, you get a huge army out of it. I mean, it's basically a 6 mana. What is it? Put like 9 power into play, because all your soldiers are gonna get +1/+1. Yeah, so 3/3 plus your 6 power that you put on the battlefield. Blake Mamba with Dog Meat. Hit the dog. 3 mana dog. When Dog Meat enters the battlefield, mill 5 cards and return an aura or an equipment card from your hand, from your graveyard back to your hand. Whenever a creature you control that's enchanted or equipped attacks, create a junk token. Yeah, you go make them junk. Dog meat. Yeah, you like your dog meat, huh? Dog fans rejoice. Zira. The Golden Sting is underrated. Oh, the big bumblebee. Okay, 4 mana for an insect assassin. Flying in haste. 0 the Golden Sting attacks. Put a egg counter on another target creature without an egg counter on it. Then, when that creature dies, if it has an egg counter on it, draw a card and create a 1/1 black insect creature token with flying. This sounds disgusting. So whenever it attacks, I'm laying my eggs on another target creature. And when the creature dies, it hatches my egg. I don't get it. Like, did the host die or something? I don't understand the flavor around here. We did Gilded Drake already. We did Gilded Drake many times. Or I should say we only did it once. Megantic Sliver! Commander Art to soothe you. Isn't this just like... Oh, you want the Commander Art? Commander Masters? It is a soothing art, I guess. But it's literally just a... It is a big sliver! It's the big boy of all boys. 6 mana. Sliver creatures you control get +3/+3. That's a big boost. Okay, last freebie before we chain through all the super chats. We'll go with... Not the original intention to be a humanoid wasp, just a costume. Oh, really? This is just a human. No, it's literally an insect. Oh, I see. It was not not supposed to be humanoid, so it looks sort of humanoid. Let's go on the King Ginger. Brone Hide Sliver. Sorry, Brone Hide Lion. I have Sliver on my mind. Brone Hide Lion. Huh? Bronze Hide? Okay, Bronze Hide Lion. Everyone's making typos today. 2 mana cat, for another 2 mana, gets indestructible until end of turn. Oh yeah, and then if it dies, return it to the battlefield. It's an aura enchantment with enchant creature you control and has pay a white and a green. Enchant creature gains indestructible until end of turn and it loses all other abilities. Okay, Super Chat Central. We have a huge one here from Blake Mamba. I'm defending Foldhorn. It works with Cascade. Foldhorn. Discover Adventure and Foretell cards. You cast from opponent's library. Impulse, draw, etc. It works really well with Apex Devastator, Itali, Jeskai Will, and etc. What is this thing again? The 3 mana. Whenever you cast a spell from exile or land. Oh, I see. So you have to play a lot of Cascade, I get. Well, you gave a lot of examples of a lot of different ways. Okay, if you build your deck around it, I guess you only get a wolf. You get a 2/2 wolf for this damn thing. Okay, whatever. You want it so badly? Okay, it's a good card. It's one of the most dangerous 3/3s in all of Magic the Gathering. For $10, I guess I'll say anything is the most dangerous creature in all of Magic the Gathering. Ecos with Leonardo da Vinci. Is there really a card? Yeah, this is not a joke. Didn't know Leonardo. Let's just look up Leonardo. Leonardo da Vinci is a real card. Wonder if only Leonardo da Vinci was around to see what he has become today. He's a 3 mana human artificer. For 5 mana, this is a Universes Beyond card, right? Oh, this is an unreleased card. Does it even exist? Oh, it's Assassin's Creed print or something? This has no legality as far as I'm concerned. Until end of turn, for 5 mana, Thopters you control have base power and toughness XX, where X is the number of cards in your hand. As far as I know, Leonardo da Vinci had the idea of many Thopters, but made absolutely none of them in actuality. I mean, yeah, I think Leonardo had like a sort of a rough idea how to make a helicopter. But obviously, he didn't make anything that flew. 3 mana, tap, draw a card, then discard a card. If the discarded card was an artifact card, exile it from your graveyard. If you do, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 0/2 Thopter artifact creature with flying in addition to its other types. I imagine, like, you could have made Leonardo differently, too. I mean, Leonardo was an inventor, but also he was, like, quite the biologist. He would take dead bodies and then, you know, try to learn exactly how a human body was composed. Organs and all. I don't know how you turn that into a card, though. It was spoiled a while ago, so I think it's fair. Yeah, it's fair. Ecos! Miria. Scholar of Antiquity. Okay, I have to be more specific. A lot of mirrors out there. Is Urza for Gruul? Oh, is it? Okay, 3 mana for an Elf Artificer. Tap an untap non-token artifact you control, add a green. Tap 2 untap non-token artifacts you control, exile a top card of your library. You may play it this turn. I agree. Yeah, tap an untap non-token artifact. Sadly, it has to be a non-token. It's like, it is definitely a safer Urza. Because if you could, like, you can tap treasure tokens, that'd be beautiful. Make a bunch of treasure tokens. So you literally have to play out actual artifacts. Convert that Soul Ring mana into green mana. Okay, now, my God, there's so many super chats here. Okay, Dillian with, sorry, not Dillian. Dylan! Toolbox. Toolbox Tor? Oh, this one, Henzi. Henzi Toolbox Tor. It is for Jund colors, a Devil Rogue. Each creature spell you cast with mana value 4 or greater has Blitz. The Blitz cost is equal to its mana cost. That's good. Okay, Blitz costs you pay cost 1 less for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone this game. Ah, interesting. Get one way of getting a tax reduction. You get a little tax rebate around here. Alpha Nerd, Drizzit. Is it Drizzit? Gets killed to quick to get big. 5 mana, Elf Ranger with double strike, enters the battlefield, create Gwen. How do you even pronounce this? Gwen Huevar, a legendary 4/1 cat creature token with trample. And whenever a creature dies, if it had power greater than Drizzt's power, put a number of +1/+1 counter on Drizzt equal to the difference. This card is absolutely wild. Kagan with Audric. Audric Lunark Marshall. Oh, is really annoying in my friend's Voltron deck. Who is this from Star Wars? This is Count Dooku, the Magic the Gathering card, with his lightsaber. Although his should be red. Okay, at the beginning of each combat, creatures you control gain first strike until end of turn. If a creature you control has first strike. Huh? The same is true for flying, death touch, double strike, haste, hexproof, indestructible, lifelink, menace, reach, skulk, trample, and vigilance. So if one has it, everyone has it. Everyone's sharing the abilities. One for all and all for one. Steve Cooper with Olivia Voldaren. It's obviously her knee? I don't understand what that means. And also donate one. Olivia Voldaren. So this is where the donations really come into play. When we're in Super Chat Central. 4 mana for a vampire with flying. Now you can poke things for 1 damage to another target creature for 2 mana, and that creature becomes a vampire in addition to its other types, and you put a counter, a +1/+1 counter on Olivia Voldaren. Then for 5 mana, you can gain control of target vampire for as long as you control Olivia Voldaren. Scoop them all up. You first turn them into a vampire, you convert them, and then you convert them and then recruit them. Convert, then recruit. Poke with your knee? Oh yeah, the knee, right? Hold on, how does it work? We've got feet over here. Yet it sort of looks like it's her knee. I guess there is no knee here. She's just holding on to it. People are just assuming that's her knee. Why does she have 3 legs? She does not have 3 legs. There is no 3 legs. She's grabbing her dress. Does she need to? No. Yeah, her feet are just in a weird angle. She just didn't have to hold on to her dress. I guess it makes the image look more full or something that effect. All right, we have a super chat donated by Steve Cooper. We'll give it to Vitor, Eastern Paladin. What? 4 mana knight. Black, tap. Destroy target green creature. I don't know what those green creatures did to you. They're so evil. You had to get them with the Eastern Paladin. Steve Long with Deadhead. This is not even a real card. 4 mana, put Deadhead into play. Okay, obviously. Use this ability only if an opponent loses contact with their hand of cards, and only if Deadhead is in your graveyard. Huh? Okay, so if it's... Oh, so you can put it from the graveyard back into play. Oh, I see. I understand. Some124C being a little cheeky. Treetop Village. By normal means, I wouldn't count this, but I said if you super chat it, I'll put it on the list. All right, you guys. It is a land. It enters the battlefield tapped. You can add a green. It also, for 2 mana, becomes a 3/3 green ape creature with trample until end of turn. It's still a land. Where's that ape? The ape is over here. It just comes out of nowhere. Watch out, it's coming right for us. Alpha Nerd with Death Leaper. Terror Weapon, appropriate name. 4 mana, Flash Haste. Oh, you're gonna flash it out, huh? Creatures you control that enter the battlefield this turn have double strike. Attack. I don't block. Death Leaper. Oh god, I wish I blocked. Alpha Nerd again with another super chat. Sloppity Bile Piper. These card names. Sloppity? That was in a sorry, that was the Warhammer 40k set. 4 mana for a demon. Jolly Gut Pipes. 2 mana, tap, sack a creature. The next creature spell you cast this turn has Cascade. Cascade at danger. Ecos with Tetsuo Imperial Champion. Didn't we do this one? Well, maybe we didn't. could have swore we did something. Or maybe we did the other one. 3 mana, human, whenever it attacks, if it's equipped, choose 1. Deals damage to the highest mana value among equipment attached to it to any target. You may cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal to the highest mana value among equipment attached to Tetsuo without paying its mana cost. Oh, I guess we did not do this one. We did the bad one. Who are you to judge which one's the bad one? To some people say they think this is the bad one and that this is the good one. Oops. Oh, Tetsuo. It's the remake version of the bad one. Hey, let's not all be dissing Tetsuo Umezawa. Okay, we have Alan Baird, a pulverizer. Gasp! Parry the pulverizer. Too many R's. It's Parry the pulverizer. It's a rhino. It's a big rhino. 4 mana for a rhino soldier. When it enters the battlefield, put a shield counter on target creature. When Parry attacks, target creature you control gains trample. Gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of different kinds of counters among permanents you control. That card is a banger. Really like the shield counter thing. I think shield counter is a really cool idea. Alpha Nerd again with Clamavus? Something to that effect. Go buy your Clamavuses for Festivus. Clamavus. 5 mana, human Tyranid Artificer. Okay, Proclamator Hailer. Each creature you control gets +1/+1. For each +1/+1 counter on it. That is so weird. Okay, so if I have 5 +1/+1 counters, it gets an additional +1/+1. So it's buffing me for buffing the creatures up in the first place. But it's useless if you didn't buff them up at all. Think it's busted? Each creature you control gets +1/+1 for each +1/+1 counter on it. Just sounds like it's basically doubling your counters, but like you need to put the work on putting the counters on it in the first place. Okay, next up. Alpha Nerd's Dark Apostle. Cascade is always dangerous. I don't blame you. The 4 mana Gift of Chaos, 3 mana tap. The next non-creature spell you cast this turn also has Cascade. Cascade is dangerous. Okay, Kagan with Grolnok the Omnivore. Just because Croak counters. Croak count. Oh, it's a frog. The 4 mana frog. Whenever a frog you control attacks, mill 3 cards. Whenever a permanent card is put into your graveyard from your library, exile it with a Croak counter on it. And you may play lands and cast spells from among cards you own in exile with Croak counters on them. Okay, maybe this is the card to combine with the other creature that if you cast... Oh, this is a really long show. Well, I want to get something else here. We're not done yet. We have like millions of super chests still to get through. This is a good card to maybe combo with that other card where when you cast cards from exile, you get the 2/2 wolf. The frog is croaked. Ribbit, ribbit. Do I have a croaking sound? No, I have a cricket sound. Not quite the same thing. Marble Titan from Sum 124C. Four mana. Creatures with power 3 or greater don't untap during their controller's untap steps. Oh! I think that's pretty good. I think a 4 mana card that locks down the biggest creatures on the board, that's nice. I like it. Kagan with, I'll wrap up with the Owlbear Cub. Owlbear Cub, 3 mana. It's a bird bear. That is weird. It's, on one half, it's an owl. On the other half, it's a cub. Mama's coming. Whenever Owlbear Cub attacks a player who controls 8 or more lands, look at the top 8 cards of your library. You may put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield tapped and attacking that player. Oh god. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. But the problem is, the player needs to control 8 or more lands. How often does that happen? Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's a strong effect, but the enabler seems really weird. I mean, there are some people who, like, ramp up to, like, 8 lands really quickly. I think the card has a bit of problems, though. It needs a lot to ask for to be enabled. Okay, John, with Howler, the Fire Fletcher. Howler the Fire Fletcher is an elf archer with trample. Whenever you cast a spell, if that spell was kicked, put a +1/+1 counter on Howler the Fire Fletcher. Then Howler deals damage equal to the number of counters on it to each opponent. That's great. Build up them counters, keep shooting them, and it does hit every single opponent. Steve Cooper probably donating for Waki the Younger. He's my favorite commander. This one? Hold on. Oh, you want the younger one. The good one, right? Not the bad one. I just think he's neat. Donate to chat. Okay, 5 mana for a human archer with reach and lifelink. If another source you control would deal non-combat damage to a permanent or player, it deals that much damage +1 to that permanent or player instead. Yeah, that's fine. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Torwaki the Younger deals 2 damage to any target. So you're really shooting people like 2 damage at a time. If you like storm off, I mean, basically the Torwaki would just win by itself. Okay, 2 donated to chat. You hear that, everyone? Okay, who did not get a card at all today? Don't know if Resident Serpentine got one today. Bull Hippo. The Bull Hippo? Is that like the owl cub? Or the owl? Yeah, the owl cub. Bull Hippo, 4 mana, Island Walk. What a waste. What a waste of the donated super chat. Okay, next up, let's take a look at who does not have one yet. Did everyone get one? If everyone got one, we'll just do a repeat. I don't know if Vitor got one. Oh, I think we did Eastern Paladin. Pretty sure. Yeah, we did Eastern. Or maybe I did that one earlier. First time catching you live. And you know what? I believe you, but we did Goblin Chain Whirler. It was one of the earliest ones. We did Gix. Let's do Mist Hologriffin. This is a really noteworthy card anyway. It's a 4 mana flying griffin when you may cast Mist Hologriffin from exile. Now the idea with this is you can repeatedly play it over and over and over again, like say with Food Chain, or just being a good sack outlet or a good blocker, and it will permanently keep coming back from exile. Make sure it doesn't get to your graveyard though, that's the key. You just don't want it to get to your graveyard. And King Ginger. Owlbear Cub. Oh yeah, we did that one. Oh, but you have a backup. Audacious Reshapers. This is a 3 mana human artificer with tap, sack an artifact, reveal cards on the top of your library until you reveal an artifact card. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. We all love our random. Audacious Reshapers deals damage to you equal to the number of cards revealed this way. And with that is the most dangerous cards in Magic the Gathering. At least it was most dangerous at the beginning. Then it's like, these are our fan favorite cards in the second half of the show. But that's okay, because you guys are the show. And if you want to be part of that show, you got to be here 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks to everyone who supports the show. If you're a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or you super chat to be part of the show, or help super chat for other people to be part of the show. We got to thank the coffee crew for being here this morning. People like we have David Sampson, Toilet Duck, Christopher B, Benovsky, Resident Serpentine, Big Pogger, Crowcore Games, King Ginger, Summer, Mermaid Star. Who else do we have here? Liam, Toads, Arcanus Ultra, Christopher B, of course, because you guys are the show. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing up them coffees, and we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.